Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Etho, and that's right. Welcome back to episode number 3 of this year of Battle Bane. Oh man, I am on such a roll with this series. I am too good to you guys sometimes. Did the shadow just do something weird? What? Look at my shadow. Oh, that is not right. What's up with this one block? What? Oh, maybe it was only one thick. I'm distracted already. Oh, I bet you that's what it was. If it's a double slab, the shadow. I just learned something new. And so did you. Because there's no way you knew that. I would be surprised if you did. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we are back, guys. I saw a lot of requests that I work on Battle Bane again. If you are unfamiliar with the series, I'm going to try to link the episode where I explain how the game is to work in the description here if you want to get caught up. But it is basically a technical series where we do command block stuff and game design and hopefully try make something cool in the end of all this. So, yeah. Let me tell you guys why I got discouraged with this series before and what we got to do to fix that. Okay? So I was in the middle of piecing everything together and entering coordinates on where to teleport the player and all that kind of stuff, and I got to realizing just how impractical this game will be if I ever finish it, because the issue is it's meant to be played on random terrain like this, right? Like a vanilla experience, and ideally every time you play you want to play on a new set of terrain so that you don't get used to where all the caves and the ores and if there's villages on the map. You don't want to know where all that stuff is before you start. You want to explore and check it out, right? The problem is this game also has many structures to it, man-made structures that need to be placed, such as the team starting points, and there's the arena, and there's the starting platform, and redstone logic. All that stuff needs a spot on the map, and they need to interact with each other, so I got to teleport players back and forth, and yeah. The issue comes with, how do I release my game here? Do I just release one map and then people play on the same terrain every single time? Because to put all the pieces together would take an experienced person, like even me, probably at least an hour, and it's very difficult to line everything up and yeah. So it seemed like this game had a major flaw with it. It was impractical. Even if you were a diehard fan, I can't see you generating a map on your own. So I would have to spend hours and hours making a few of them, and then still that might not be good enough. Alright, so here's what I think we got to do to make this feasible, to make this game work in a way that people can actually play it, for you to enjoy it. We have to create sort of like a zip archive. We have to put all the pieces of the game in a box and create an MC edit schematic, basically. The game is an MC edit schematic, not necessarily a world map. So you would generate a random world, put that box in the world, press the button, and then all the different pieces like the arena, the platform would get placed in the world where they need to go, and then it would delete itself. And that's how you would set up a game or a new world if you didn't want to keep using the same one. So we got to see if that is possible. That means we're going to be using a lot of the clone command, which has limits to it. I think you can only copy 4,096 blocks or something with it. So we'll have to see what happens if we try to copy something as big as this into the world somewhere. I don't know. That's what we're going to be doing today. But yeah, before we get into that, let me just show you, in case you're wondering, what all these command blocks are for. So this is like the game startup. I want to show you what it's supposed to be like. We have the team joining going here. Basically, it's looking for a certain spot on this platform. If I walk into that spot, then our team changes. So if we go to the green corner here, then I join the green team. Got the yellow team over here, red team, etc., etc. Anyway, when we start up the game, since we're on the red team now, we'll get teleported to the red team start spot. And it does a whole bunch of stuff. Sets our game mode. It doesn't clear the inventory for some reason. I didn't get to that apparently. That's kind of what a game startup would be like, and then you can see the round time is counting down too. When that would hit 0, then we would get teleported to the arena if we were in this box here. If we were out in the world doing something, we would not. And that has not been set up yet. Alright, let's go back though. So next up here, guys, I want to show you something I made today that I think is pretty cool. It's a new team joining system over there. This is the old one. This is what we had before. Basically, this was to join the green team. If we're at this coordinate here, within a radius of 3 of it, and we're not on the green team already, then we join it, is how it worked. Each of these has a different coordinate for a different spot over on our floor here. Wherever possible, though, to keep this as flexible and modifiable as possible, we want to avoid using coordinates when we can. It'll just save me a lot of headache. So that is exactly what this does. I know what you're thinking. It looks like a bunch of command blocks trying to give you a giant bear hug. It's kind of correct, but not really. This is a fill clock, so it alternates hardened clay and redstone blocks. If we put that there, it activates it. So these are pulsing 20 times a second, and they're activating this line of command blocks in this one. And the way the new team joining works is it detects if I'm standing on a certain type of block. So if I'm standing on a red clay block, look over here, watch how my team changes. Now I'm on the red team. If I step on a blue one, I join the blue team. Green team, yellow team, spectator. Pretty cool. And also my number changes here so that if there's multiple people, they all get grouped together. So the red guys will be all together at the top, then the blue guys, then the green, yellow, and spectators at the bottom of the list, just to organize it. And I like this. It's because it's really easy to build our spawning platform. Like for right now, I could just use something as simple as this, and if I want to change it later, I don't have to adjust any command blocks. I just have to change where I want these clay blocks. And yeah, I think that's really neat. So let's look at the commands just really quickly here, and then we're going to check out the cloning of the arena and test that for lag and stuff. So to join the red team, I run a /execute. And you have the option of detecting what block is under or is by somebody. So here I'm detecting one block below me. And if that block is a hardened clay, the damage value of 14, which is the red clay, then it runs this command, scoreboard teams join red team at all players, I mean. And if they're not on the red team, they join it. So no coordinates, which is very nice. And then this line just does an update. If any team, or if any person is on the red team, their team display gets set to 4. That's the number by here. So that's just for organizing. And that's all there is to it. So you can use that in any game in the future. If I make another game, that's how I'm going to do the team joining, because it's super simple. Alright, so next up we're going to experiment with the clone command. We got to use this to extract the map and all the pieces into their proper place. But also, it would be nice if I could just like delete the arena after every round and then copy a new one in its place, so that any like blocks that are placed or damage done to it gets reset. But we can only do that if it's not too laggy and if Minecraft will let us. So I've been experimenting with a small copy here. We're going to try a bigger copy. Let's do 60 blocks by 60, maybe by 20, and see if it allows that. No. Oh, it does 32,768. I thought it was 4,000. Oh. So we almost doubled the selection though. Oh, that's not too bad though. So we could probably do this with only a few command blocks, like maybe 3 or 4. Okay. Okay, so I set up some more command blocks here. We're going to try copy this whole structure off over there somewhere. I'm testing for lag and just to see if it'll do it. Probably got my coordinates wrong here, so it might look really funny when it's done. I have 1 tick between each one, so hopefully the lag doesn't like cause a giant lag spike, but it'll disperse over time a little better. And here we go. And failed. 33. Aw, are you kidding me? As 1,000 blocks over still. I had it split into 10 wide sections. We got to make it smaller, like maybe 8 wide. Okay, so now I got it split into 5 wide sections, and I decided just to run the command blocks all the way down the arena. That way I can use relative coordinates, and every single one of these commands can have, or command blocks can have the same command in it. Because it's based on the position of the command block itself. So that just simplifies everything. If I ever want to change this, I just have to copy the one command block with control middle click, and it'll keep that command, so I don't have to adjust anything really, which is nice. So let's try it out here. I tested one just to make sure, and let's see if it does the rest. And I'm going to spin my mouse as I do this to see if there's any lag spikes. It's running slow. It's definitely running slow, but it is doing it. Yeah, because those are 1 tick apart, and it's taking its sweet time. Alright. That wasn't too bad, though. That was like 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds. That's acceptable. Aha, very good, guys. I'm very happy with that result, actually. If that didn't go well, I don't think we would have been able to finish Battle Bane, at least the way I want to. So I'm happy this copied pretty good. We didn't really get any frame rate lag, which is great. It might cause some server lag, though. It's a little hard to tell just in my single player here. But nothing too significant, only about 10 seconds or 20 seconds worth. So what we'll do, we're making the box, right? The extractor, we'll call it. That's where we have all our gameplay pieces, like the arena and all the structures and stuff are going in this box. When they extract out to the world, one of the things that will extract is the arena. So it'll copy the arena from that box, put it in the world somewhere. And then before every arena fight, we're going to use this as the original, like the one we get from the box. That'll be the original. Before every fight, it's going to have to erase the copy, whatever's left, and it'll do a fill command, replace everything with air. Then it's going to copy from the original a brand new version of the arena, and then the arena fight will begin. So that's sort of the order to it all. So several copies will have to take place. Anyway, I actually started work on the extractor over here, and we're going to do a little test. So a big thing we're going to have to do, one of the very first steps to extracting my game into a random world, is we got to pre-generate all the terrain. I don't know if you guys saw some of the older UHC seasons, for example, but we used to get a ton of lag, like right at the beginning. One of the big reasons for that was because we didn't pre-generate the worlds. So you got 10, 20 people in Minecraft exploring, generating brand new terrain. It's going to kill your Minecraft. It's going to cause so much lag. Same with my game. If I don't pre-generate the worlds, or if you don't do that, there's going to be issues. So I'm going to actually have a command block sequence here to do that. And I think Brian or Lorgon 111 was the first to do something like this quite a while ago, actually. I made my own version here, though. And basically, it's going to teleport us all around the play field. So let me just press the button. I'll show you an example. It's not doing the full thing though, because that would take a while. Actually, I wrote something here. I changed it. let me get this down to 3 minutes. Okay. Here we go. This might be extra laggy because I'm recording as well. But basically, if we check our coordinates, you see how I'm teleporting all over the place. It's moving me through the chunks very quickly, and it's supposed to be generating any terrain in that location that hasn't been generated before. We're gonna have to test this in a random world though, just to make sure it's doing it okay. I'll run the commands, and then I'll open up the world in MC Edit and just double check all the chunks got generated. But yeah, so I got a scoreboard running here on the right, you see, and it's basically an array. It starts at 32 on the chunk X and counts down. Then every time it hits 0, the chunk Z goes down as well, and when they're both at 0, it stops finally. Right? So I can set the two numbers at whatever I want. Also puts us in spectator mode, so that if for some reason the guy was in survival mode when he hit the button, he's not going to die when the command's running. And yeah. So anyway, let's go back. Okay, so I'm going to get this thing ready. We'll drop it in a brand new world. I'm going to run the command, and we will check out that it actually works, and then we'll go through the commands here, and I'll just show you how it works afterwards, okay? Alright, so here we go, guys. This is the test here. This is a brand new world I just generated, just a random world, random seed. I've not flown around it or generated any of the terrain yet. And basically, this is how you would set up a Battle Bane world. You just copy my extractor into the random world with the seed you want, hit the button, and then the game will create itself, basically. It'll first pre-generate the world, like this first step does, then it would extract all the game structures to where they go and set up the scoreboards and the world border and all that kind of stuff will get made, and then it will just destroy itself. Right? That's the plan. But we only have the first step set up so far, the pre-gen. So let's try it out. This is probably going to be very laggy, but we'll see. Yep, so far can't see anything. Oh, it's loading in though. So pretty much the only chunks we see have been generated. Look how much slower it is too. It's struggling to keep up. Like on the other one that was pre-generated, we were just zipping through this thing. This one, it's actually taking time to process the new world it's creating. And we just did one row. We got 32 left to go. Should be significantly quicker this time though, because we've already generated a bunch of the land. We're only adding a couple chunks every pass here now. Alright, so that'll count down to 0, and then it should stop, and I'm going to go into MC Edit and just double check this was all generated properly and we didn't miss any chunks. Very good, guys. I'm happy with that. I just double checked in MC Edit and every single chunk was generated there. So that's great. It looks like Minecraft actually just waits between the teleports for the chunks to generate. That's why it was so slow at the start there. Which is good. That means I could possibly speed up the teleporting, like increase the space between each of the teleports, but frog in my throat. 1 sec. It's gone. Okay, I'm better. I don't know if you heard that. But it's also good not just to generate the terrain, but to give it a little bit of time, because there's also like water that flows and lava flows and things catch fire and gravel falls. There's lots of other updates that happen, and it's good to give that stuff time too. So I think the 3 minutes is probably good. So I'll run you through the command blocks here just kind of quickly and concisely, hopefully. First thing we do, we set the command block output to false. That way we don't spam the person with messages. Then we give him a message, pre-generating terrain. This takes about 3 minutes just so he knows what to expect. And then we set the world spawn to where this command block is here. The reason for that is because we're going to be getting teleported around the world, and we want to keep these chunks loaded so that the redstone can keep running, and setting the spawn keeps chunks loaded, so that's important. Set our game mode to 3, spectator mode, so that if the guy's in survival mode, he won't fall from the sky, you know. Scoreboard objectives, add land gen, dummy, land, pregen. This creates a scoreboard that's named land gen. It's a dummy variable, and the display name for it is land pregen, which is what we saw at the top on the scoreboard on the right there. Alright. Then it adds a fake player called Chunk X to that scoreboard, and he has a score of 32. And then it creates another player, fake player called Chunk Z with a score of 32. And then it sets that scoreboard to display on the right there. That's so that the guy can see what's happening when the world's generating. He can get an idea of how much time is left. Alright, and then teleports him to the negative corner, the very negative coordinates of the square we're trying to pre-generate. Alright, I have to use specific coordinates here. I don't like that, but I put a sign here in case I think of some way of getting rid of that and using relative coordinates. Alright, set block. This just creates a redstone block right here, and that activates this clock. This is a rapid pulsing clock. That goes to these 3 command blocks here. First one teleports you 32 blocks relative to where you are right now on the X coordinate. So if I type that in for an example, oh, it moves us 32 blocks away from where we were. So every time that happens, we move a little bit on the X coordinate. It removes 1 from the chunk X score, so that's how that subtracts. And then it also tests to see if that score is at 0. That's what this does. If it's at 0, this comparator turns on, and it resets it back up to 32. So it happens 32 times. And it removes 1 from the chunk Z score. Then it tests to see. Actually, let's look at this one first. This teleports you on the Z coordinate 32 blocks, and it also resets you back at the start of the X coordinate. 3 times in a row. It's because I keep looking in these command blocks. Alright, this checks to see if the chunk Z is at 0. If it is, then we have to end the whole process. So that's what these last 3 do. Over here, we got a comparator from there. And this one gets rid of the redstone block at the clock there, so that stops ticking. This removes the LandGen scoreboard, because we don't need it anymore, and it gives you a message. And that's the whole thing. So that is step 1 to creating Battle Bane in your world. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Battle Bane. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we can be more regular with the series again. It won't be coming out all the time, though, I will say that, even if it is regular, because doing this stuff takes a lot of work. Oh, man, you have no idea. The planning, the figuring it out, and building it and testing it and rebuilding it. Oh, it's just so much work. It's a lot of fun. Map making is awesome, but it's time consuming. I will say that. Again, another reason I do this series is not just for me. The reason I want to do it is because I'm trying to encourage you guys to get into map making if you're interested, and kind of show you some ideas on how to do different things. Map making is like the ultimate form of creation in Minecraft. I will say that. You can write stories for your maps. You can build your maps as fancy as you want. Then you can do crazy redstone stuff, and your imagination is the limit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I will see you again in the next episode, and we will start stage 2 of the extractor, where we copy the structures to where they belong, and hopefully do a bit more than that too. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.